Hey there, this is Keith from Your Success. Hoping you're well today, and thank you very much for joining me as we take some time to go through some thoughts and actions for taking your way and navigating your way, in fact, through a challenging economy. Now, one of the things you're going to notice with what we cover during this is that very much what can be put into our mind by what people tell us, what we read in the news, can suddenly become our experience. And who can blame you? But here's the thing, what we're going to look at today is how you can take on board that information, hear all that noise, but then still know that you're in a position to be able to create your own outcomes, to be able to create your own economy, if you like. And the steps that I'm going to take you through will give you that. The thing that's really important to remember this as we go through it is these aren't just easy fixes. These are things that will require work, they'll require effort, they'll require commitment, and above all, they'll certainly really require your own personal belief in who you are, what you do, and of course, the results that you can get for your clients. Okay, so I'm going to make that clear from the outset, and you'll see how that all comes across when we go through this session today. But what we'll do is we will get straight into things so you can take on board the information and start making things happen. Okay, so here's the things that we're looking at right now. So this is the truth of it. Success leaves clues, and successful people are always looking for ways to grow their business. They trust their abilities, their services, and how well they can impact people's lives in a positive way, as you do every single day. Now, their customers come through and really realize from that a financial crunch offers advantages that aren't available during easier, better economic times, which we'll look at as we go through. But often what we watch on the news or see on our devices offers up a picture of doom and gloom, which can impact our thoughts and tell us times are not good. So it becomes your belief that can stop you in your tracks, and you suddenly kind of go into a difficult mindset. You're panicking. You're coming from an area of scarcity, and that can play on your mind, and you rush what you ordinarily do, and maybe you forget some of the things that are most important. But this is where making your own future and building your own economy that come directly into play. This is really challenging that fight or flight mode so that you can get the best from yourself and really focusing on what you want and of course how you're going to get there. And what we're going to do here today is give you the steps and the ideas to help you do that in a couple of parts. Okay. So the first thing to think about here is keep up your activity and self-promotion. Okay. Now, when the economy becomes challenging, there is a temptation to hold back and kind of hope you get noticed. Now, here's the thing, you offer a high value service. Now, that deserves high value exposure. So you need to communicate, you need to network, you need to ask for referrals, and you need to add value where you can. There are many people that say this, but, and you've probably heard it before, but business is a spiritual game. The more you can give of yourself, the more value you offer, the more people will take notice of you. And that's where your client base will come from. Yeah. So, first thing we want to think about is networking, but also who is your ideal customer? Now, I'm sure you've already done some work with this, but it's worth revisiting. So, to take a moment to work out and then look and importantly ask people who you know, or if they know people that fit the bill. So, who is it you're looking for? The thing that I've found a lot of time with what I do with work is if there's particular people I want to work with, I'll identify that. But what I'll do is I'll then start to open up my network of people I'm connected to, friends, family, other clients, and say, hey, do you know anybody that meets this criteria? Do you know anybody that fits the bill? And a huge percentage of the time, I say probably 90% of the time, they point me in the right direction. So pretty much guaranteed someone you know will introduce you to a new customer, or at the very least, someone who will make a beneficial introduction. So they may say, do you know what? I don't know someone like that, but you need to speak to this person. And that'll open the door for you. Okay. Now, this is the thing we forget sometimes. We are all connected to someone who can introduce you to your next client or clients. So ask, and you will be excited by the results. I promise you that. Now, if you know what you're looking for others, they will be able to direct you. So if you know what you're looking for and you can tell people that, then they will start to direct you. Okay. That doesn't mean to say you don't need to pick up one type of client in a particular age range or particular needs, but it certainly gets things moving for you. Okay. Make sense? Good. We'll continue. Um, Referrals. Now, if you have a client base, now whatever the size, and I know you would anyway, but really focus on looking after them. Okay. This is where that value comes in. If you look after them, they will look after you through repeat business and introductions if you ask for that referral. So it's being not being afraid to say, hey, I know we're working well together. I'm glad you're seeing results. Is there anyone else you can think I'm a benefit I could be a benefit to? So again, ask and you will definitely receive. It's just the case of making sure that you make that action happen. Okay. And here's the lovely thing about referrals. Your clients will know the value of what you offer. So the people they introduce will feel the same. Um, what you tend to find is that if someone is having personal training with you or having any kind of service with you in terms of coaching or whatever it happens to be, then what will happen is if that individual knows and values what they do, when they pass your details on or they introduce you to the next person, that friend of theirs will already know how much impact you have. So it's not kind of like a convincing game. This is, I know this individual, they have a great value and I need to work with them. Okay. Now, while you're doing that as well, you're looking after your existing customers. What will happen is you will also find that they are looking to repeat their success with you. So talk about updated sessions, what they're going to be doing in a month's time, 6 weeks' time, 8 weeks' time, once their PT package has concluded, or just to make sure they know what's coming next so they don't stop that brilliant work with you. Yeah. Okay. So think about referrals, think about your existing client base. Add value. Now this is something I know we all do. Do we do enough of it? You can answer that question, but think about social posts, blogs, fitness tips while you're talking to members if you're in the building with them. Um, Build a reputation for your expertise in providing solutions, and people will come to you. You're the go-to person because they've heard you share this information. It's something they've tried perhaps, and now it's like, wow, what else do you know? I really need to speak to them about. So it just kind of gets them thinking, what other value can you add to them, which gives you an opportunity to look at looking after them on a regular basis. Okay. And this is the thing to think about. Just work out the problems you solve and give something that allows people to feel comfortable with your knowledge, making it easy for them to reach out to you. Yeah. And this is the other thing to think about. Events, challenges can also draw people to you. So why not challenge yourself if this is not something you do to step out of your comfort zone and do something different for a moment? Okay. These little things, it's just about doing little things, little changes here and there that make the big difference to what you're doing. Okay. This is something else that we don't always consider. Maybe you do. If you're not, then give a bit more thought to this. Think about your big ticket sales. Okay. Now, one of the things that I found through various periods of my career over many, many years, not all of your clients or even your potential clients suffer during challenging times. There will be those people out there, their businesses or their organizations they work for, that are also thriving. Okay. So don't be afraid to think about and make big ticket sales offers. Okay, bigger packages, more value, etc. And think about this. Additionally, when money is tight, when people are spending money with you, they place a lot of stock in your services or the benefits, importantly, of working with you to get results. They'll value it even more. They'll want to get more from it. Okay. So think about that. It does make a big difference. I promise you. Okay. Um, this is something again that we don't always look for the opportunity with. Again, if you're doing this already, great, but if not, have a think. What ways or what things can you do to create products similar to yours, but with higher prices and added value? Okay, I'm not going to throw stuff at you here because this is your business and you'll know maybe where you can attach a little something extra, a little bit of extra value, something just makes that a bigger ticket sale for you. And this is the thing, successful marketers often create members only sites and sell their products at higher prices. So what extra value can you add? Okay. Now, what you may find with this is that you get reduced sales but higher value. Okay. So the people that you are offering this to will really value the product they buy, but each sale you get will net a higher profit. So here's the thing to really kind of think about and consider. Even though the sales may be fewer, the profit may be greater than when it was sold at a lower price. Makes sense? So again, that can take a little bit of pressure off yourself. And if you're able to sell at the same volumes, wow, okay, really, really amazing. Now, here's something to think about as well. Maximize what you're doing and how you're working and looking after your clients. Now, you've probably come across it before. I think I've mentioned this in some of my webinars before. Think service, service, service. Value the clients you have. Okay. If you do great things for them, which you will be, they will probably do exactly the same for you because they respect what you do. They know that you need to continue to recruit people to be able to look after them. That's the thing. And one of the things that's always surprised me, but it is true, 30% of your existing clients could bring you 70% of your new clients. You just don't always know to begin with who those 30% are. Treat them all the same. Look after all your clients. Those introductions, those referrals will come. Now, again, as I mentioned earlier, you will probably need to ask for them. Don't be afraid to do so because sometimes people just need an invitation. Yeah, get them thinking. But yeah, just to finish on this, treat them well, add value, and make sure you deliver on your promises. Okay. And again, I know you would do. Now, promises aren't, I will guarantee you get the results, but promises, I'm there on time. I'm following up with you. I'm there on Tuesday. I'm there on Thursday, whatever it happens to be. But anything basically where there's a perceived value, you must make sure you deliver on. Yeah. Okay, great. Let's continue. So let's just continue. The thing you'll find with your clients, they already know that you have great products, you provide amazing results, you deliver excellent service. That's not in question, but they trust you to come through for them. Think about this. It's much easier to retain and have a successful relationship with someone you already look after. Okay. And this is the thing, you're looking at building a long-term relationship, someone that is going to stay with you for 5 sessions, 10 sessions, 20 sessions, months, years even. But the idea is basically is to continue to talk to them about what's coming next. When one goal is achieved, what can you do to maintain it? What's the next thing they want to do? What's the next activity they can work towards? But use every opportunity within your client audience that you already have. And again, think about this. Do you have, ties in with what we talked about earlier, do you have a product that goes with the one they are purchasing? So if they bought some sessions from you, is there anything you can add on to it that adds more value, but maybe there's an extra purchase price attached? Okay. Have a think about that. The reason I'm asking you to think about it is it's proven, it's effective, but what it does is it will increase as well retention of your clients and certainly build on that positive relationship. Okay. Now, the thing, and this is it, if you're doing this already, you'll probably notice. If you're not, you may be shocked at the additional business you can generate from those who are already buying from you, not just from their referrals, but maybe an add-on purchase that they can make. Yeah. So have a think about that. What have you got? What could you offer on top? Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. Now, I put here, this is almost the last word, and I'll explain why in just a moment. But what I've given you here, these effective, simple and effective points will make sure that you remain active for one. You don't just kind of sit back and wait for things to happen. You'll definitely be positive and certainly getting the results that you deserve. And this is about action. This is about activities. It's just thinking, what can I do? Not what's going on around me that I can't impact, but what can I do around me where I have control and at the very least some influence. Now, the reason this is almost the last word, because there are a couple of extra bits, in fact, 3 extra bits that I want to give you, which I think will make a big difference. And now these basically are 3 extra things, 3 powerful points that will motivate you and motivate potential clients to buy from you. Okay. So I'm going to give you 3 points here just to add on to what we've talked about. Now, some of this you already might have come across in other training sessions or webinars, etc. But I just want to add these on because they are super important just to work with. Okay. So the first one, and this sometimes can be the most difficult one at times when you kind of really feel like you need to pick up your numbers and have pressures on you and so on. Often when we come from a place of needing or scarcity where we want more and we need extra money and so on, the, we feel like we want to rush. We need the results right this second, right this moment. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than that. I'm not saying it takes forever, but it takes a little bit longer. So the first thing is, and this is important, take your time. Wooing clients is a little bit like dating, if you don't mind this analogy. There's a two-way relationship that grows one step at a time before it leads to the church doors and a long-term relationship. Okay, you can't rush it. You can't skip it. So if you're looking for the satisfaction of a lifelong client and working relationship, then there are some bit of patience has to be exercised here. Okay, so this is what we're going to kind of cover as we go through on this this initial point. So you've got to get to know people. Getting to know your client, or it's almost like getting to know your date. There's time and there's effort involved. We talk about in other webinars, open questions, the body language you use, etc. So really kind of getting into conversation, understanding who they are. Because here's the thing, personalities for different people, there'll be likes and dislikes. Everyone is different, but clients share some commonalities that you can grab onto. Okay, so what are they? Find them out by asking, find them out in terms of how you interpret body language and so on. But here's the thing, if you can understand what that person needs, how that person reacts, you can give them what they want and they'll become loyal. This is the thing, loyal lifetime clients that make your business prosper. That gives you that base to be able to always move forward. Yeah. The next part of this is forget about selling. Put the emphasis on buying. Okay. Now, if you've had experience with this, or you could be this person, people like to think that all of their buying decisions were reached due to their own great ideas and skillful shopping. Great. But here's the thing. Most people, and I'm not saying everybody, but most people, they are not fans, not fond of pushy salespeople. A salesperson, which when you're offering your services, you become, they want someone that helps to discover what they need. It's almost like a doctor that prescribes a solution to remove their pain, and you become a hero because you help them achieve that. Make sense? Yeah. So that's it. Put the emphasis on buying, not selling. That's the thing. Make it feel like it's a great decision coming from them. Focus on your customers' needs. When someone makes an inquiry with you, they are more or most likely thinking of making a purchase before they get there. That's all in their mindset already. It's just the next couple of steps you've got to help them with. Okay. You don't necessarily have to persuade them to buy, so you can take it easy here. But what you do is you simply help them decide what the best purchase is, how they work with you, what they want to achieve, when they're going to start, how many sessions they're going to start with, how often they're seeing you, those kind of things. But keep your focus on those client needs. Okay. If you can do that, then you'll be able to answer those questions. And as I said, then it's about giving them the opportunity to make the purchase. Okay. So you don't have to persuade them to buy. Yeah. It's already in place there. So here's the thing to think about with this. What benefits would they be most interested in? And then when you're going through that thing, then think about what is the price range they could possibly afford. Okay. Is it going to be a bigger package of sessions? Start gently and build it up. Entirely up to you. But that's what you're going to pick up from talking to your client and really understanding their needs. But the big thing to bear in mind here is you are there to serve their needs, not to persuade them. If you can do that, then the pressure is off and that will come across in how you're talking to people as well. So you won't, again, come from that feeling of, oh, I really need you to buy from me. Okay. Take the pressure off yourself. You are there to help them. Yeah, makes sense? Good. Okay, we'll continue. It's the second step. Make purchasing a sure bet. Now, this is the thing to remember. Sometimes put yourself in that buyer's shoes, put yourself in that client's shoes for a moment here. When you're buying, it can sometimes feel like a risky business. Okay. Now, the higher the price tag, the higher the risks when someone's making a purchase in their mind anyway. So here's the thing to remember. A client is just looking for a product that satisfies the need they purchase for it. So I'm willing to pay that much, but I really need to see improvement, change, results, support, whatever it happens to be. So here's the big question that most people ask, and I'm sure you do it yourself when you're buying something. Is it worth it? Yeah, that's the question. Is it worth it? So it is an important, in fact, it's a legitimate question here, but the world is full of scams or potential scams where you spend your hard-earned money and you end up with something that doesn't quite fulfill your needs. Okay. Now, there are people that have had a few tough lessons of this when they've made a purchase. So they want something that they can trust. So first of all, great news is you're there and in person, or you're across a screen from them if you're doing it online. But if you can, having recommendations and testimonials can be extremely useful. Okay, even if you've only got a handful of clients, any feedback you can get from them, purchase is fantastic. But if this is an area still building on, it's really important to reinforce the part you play, or they play, excuse me, in getting results. Okay, so you're going to help them, you're going to give them all the direction, support, etc., that they need. but they've got to play their part as well. Now, the thing for me with something like this is if someone's coming to you or you're talking to them and they're not seeing the results they want from working out on their own or following a program that's not doing for them or not committed enough, here's the thing. Unless they try something new, what's going to change? Nothing. So if they do what they're doing now, here's the guarantee. It's not going to work. What you can put in front of them is if you work with me, there will be changes. As long as you work with me, as long as you take on my advice, as long as you do the stuff outside of our time, then not only are you adding value, but they suddenly answer that question, is it worth it? Yeah, makes sense. So this is the next bit, recommendations. Client testimonials, we talked about this a little bit already. They clearly tell would-be buyers that you deliver client satisfaction, okay? And it's the thing, whether you've got one client, 10 clients, it doesn't matter. But here's the thing, no one can say it better than a satisfied client, but don't carelessly use testimonials, okay? You need a method to your madness, something that people can pick up on. So a couple of thoughts here. Pick clear and specific testimonials to use, but here's a big thing. Include as much about the client as you possibly can. So it kind of adds weight and credence to their testimony. So it might be along the lines of, I hadn't used a personal trainer before, I hadn't seen any results, but here's what I'm starting to see now, or here's what I have seen already. So you kind of give a little bit of a story in terms of the change you've been able to help with and make. Yeah. Okay. So that's really important to make sure that you think about when you're doing these things. But the third step that I want to share with you is when someone is looking to buy from you or to start with you, let them know it's an easy process. Okay. Now, simplicity makes life easier. That's the rule. And that's what people look for a lot of the time. So here's the thing. Potential clients, and we know are probably going to be busy and maybe tired. They don't necessarily want to mess around when they're getting started. So most of the time, they just want to make the purchase and get started. So how easy can you make it for them? Okay. Look at your process, look at your steps, and see if you can make it as simple as possible. Okay. Make sure they know it's easy. So what I mean by that is make the buying process as simple as you possibly can. The more options you have available, the more clients you will be able to please in terms of method of payments, ways to pay, etc. I know there'll be a structure in place, but are there things that maybe you can just tweak a little bit or refocus on to suit that customer and that particular client's needs? Yeah. If there are ways of getting them started quickly, don't forget to point out the quick, fast, and easy benefits of your services. Okay, here's how we book, here's how we get started, here's how we meet, here's how we feedback. So make everything join up together step by step so you can see how easy it is. Okay, you're not promising fast results, but what you are promising is great service, great benefits, and easy ways to kind of stay in touch with you. Yeah, makes sense? So just to finish, these extra 3 habits I've given you here, please keep them in mind as you go about the task of you growing your business and expanding your client list. And it will expand and you will keep making your income grow. Now, as I said, it's very easy to get sucked into the mindset of here's what's happening in the world, here's what's happening to everybody. But it doesn't have to be that way if you choose to look at things differently. Put the activity in, put the time in, and work with those people that you're looking for. Yeah? Okay. As always, thank you so much for your time. If there's anything I can help with or you get more questions, you can email me, keith@yoursuccesssolutions.com, or you can visit my website, again, at www.yoursuccesssolutions.com. But look forward to hearing from you. Again, take care and all the best.